It may seem too soon to be thinking about gardening, but it is absolutely not, you guys. Hi, everybody. I'm Aubrey. This is Crybabies Homestead, and we are at Walmart looking at their gardening section. Inside, they have all kinds of stuff already for you. Lilacs, which I absolutely love. There are actually culinary applications for lilacs. You're going to need to do a little bit of research on that, but they smell wonderful. So, not everything that smells wonderful is edible, but they're supposed to be edible too. And that will be something I will try as soon as my lilacs start blooming. I have a few different types growing in the front yard, and they smell incredible. I don't get enough flowers right now that I would start trying to use them, but I've seen people using them for like fritters or something. I don't know. If you've used those before, go ahead and pop a comment below and let me know how you used your lilacs. But they've got seed potatoes and onion sets. Now, you can grow onions from seeds, but if you want to grow them from seeds, you need to start them now. So you would do like a flat of seeds and you would just like overplant it like crazy. And then you will pot them up and keep like transplanting them until eventually it's warm enough to put them outside. So, the one thing nice about onions and other alliums is that if you plant them on the wrong day and they don't bulb up, you can still use the greens. So you really have nothing to lose with onions. Go ahead and plant some seeds. Sometimes the bulbs, the little sets, they call them sets, sometimes they look kind of like not so great. And if you feel them, if they don't feel firm, don't buy them. Just go for seeds. But if they feel nice and firm, go ahead and buy some. Now, I personally feel like you can go to US Chefs and get tons of onions for very cheap. But you really can't beat growing something from your own garden. There is a sense of satisfaction and it is so delicious. So, I mean, really, there's nothing like it. I am partial to Walla Walla onions. Maybe it's because I'm from Washington, but Walla Walla onions from Walla Walla, Washington are absolutely the best. You've never had any onion like it. It is amazing. And it's even better if you grow it in your own garden. So they have all kinds of seeds out here. Seeds, plant starts, bulbs, everything you can think about. Um, I would say Burpee's not my favorite company, but do your own research on companies you like. I am partial to Baker Creek, Heirloom Seeds, Am I Gardener, Everwild, Territorial. Um, there used to be a company called Seeds for Thee. They went out of business, I think, due to health issues or something, but that company was beautiful. You can try Nikitovka, which is a Ukrainian company. Their seeds are very cheap. I would only plant those for flowers just because I'm kind of weird and also a little paranoid. So, looking here, I love these different kinds of flower seeds. Now, they do have, I'm going to pan over to the Dollar Tree in a couple of moments at the end to show you what they have there. Just kind of scan through the seeds that they have. Um, but looking at their seeds here, they have a lot to choose from. So you definitely could get a really good start. If you're a new gardener, Walmart, Dollar Tree, they're going to be fantastic. If you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's, you're going to find great seeds. I like to get my lupin or lupine seeds, however you want to say it. I like to get my lupin from Home Depot because you can get a really nice size pack for a pretty good price and you get like a ton of seeds. And then my lupin, they can be perennial or biennial. Um, they do flower the second year. So you could call them a biennial. And I could swear that mine are perennial, even though the package said annual, because the flowers come up in the same spot every year. They could be self-seeding. That is a very, very good possibility. So, but lupin are just beautiful. They come in different colors. Mine are purple and blue. But I did buy some that are supposed to be yellow, and I'm really excited about that. Of course, they have houseplants. Walmart actually has pretty good deals on houseplants, but do you know who might have a better price on houseplants? Not quite the selection, but a little bit better price. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has the best prices on bouquets of flowers, and small plants, house plants. You can get a very small of a plant, like this very smallest bit you could get in a cute little pot for like $5. And that is a very frugal way to get your plants. They have Venus flytraps. I have a theory about Venus flytraps. First of all, those are on sale because they don't look good. The other ones are like twice the price. My theory on flytraps is one of the reasons why they don't do well is because when they're being shaken around and stuff, I'm thinking that maybe those little modified leaves that close up, I'm thinking those modified leaves are being triggered to close. Once they close, because they think that there's an insect in there, they don't open up again. They actually like digest basically whatever is inside that little leaf, modified leaf, and if there's nothing there, they did all that energy for nothing. And so it takes a lot of energy to close and digest and try to extract the nutrients from something. So if you go around tickling the little, looks like little teeth, the little fibers around the leaves to make it close, yes, it's kind of satisfying. Um, but basically, you're killing your plant because it's thinking that it caught something and it didn't. Um, so my theory is that all that trauma of being jostled around um, is so stressful to the plant. I have never had great success with buying um, Venus flytraps from stores. I did see somewhere that you can plant them from seeds. My theory would be go ahead and try them from seeds and see if it has a little less stressful start to life, if maybe they'll do better for you. I actually went to a pet store called Petworks in Olympia, Washington, and they had sundew plants for a lot cheaper than I've seen them online. I've seen them on Facebook Marketplace for about $16. I think I got mine for 12, and then there's no shipping and handling on top of that. I also got to pick out the healthiest looking one I could find, right? The sundew, Cape sundews, if I was going to get a carnivorous plant, are the ones I'd go with. Pitcher plants are also very cool. And they do seem to do better than the Venus flytraps. But, kids are going to like the Venus flytraps. That's definitely a novelty. I love Gladiolus. They are, do you know the name Gladiolus comes from the word gladiator? Because the foliage of the Gladiolus looks like a gladiator's sword. If you want to guess where you think Gladiolus originate from, go ahead and pop a comment in the area below. I'll tell you in a few minutes where Gladiolus are from. But they're very beautiful. They're one of my favorite plants. They're one of the first plants I actually grew from a bulb because they had them at the Dollar Tree. And they were smaller bulbs, but I liked them better. The reason why I liked the Gladiolus from Dollar Tree better was because the ones I bought somewhere elsewhere they're really tall. They grow really, really, really tall, and then the weight of the flower makes them fall over and snap and break. If you're going to do it for cut flower, I guess that works. But I like to let my flowers bloom for as long as possible, and then if you leave them on the plant, you can actually collect the seeds. And the gladiolus seeds are tiny, kind of like a paper little husk on them. And I'd save them. You take them out of the pod, let them dry, and I would overplant them, and it will look like grass. It looks like, or sedge. Maybe it looks like grass or sedge, but don't forget, maybe make sure that you properly mark them, because you might think it's grass growing in your garden. You might try ripping them up. I actually did that once. I went, no, and I replanted everything. It was fine. But be careful, because the gladiolus, when they first start sprouting, the really long gladiator, sword-like foliage, it looks like grass when it's a baby. And it takes several years for them to get big enough to actually have the corms. They don't actually grow from bulbs. The weird-looking bulb-like thing that you grow from a gladiolus is actually called a corm. And every corm, if you pick one up after it's had a good season with lots of energy, it will have tiny, tiny little corms growing underneath it. It almost looks like bug eggs or something. So don't think you're infested with something. all those little tiny corms underneath, you can just like flick them off, replant them, and you're gonna also get the same kind of foliage you get from seeds, a little bit bigger and a little bit a little bit faster than growing from seeds. But you will get more variety growing from seeds because the corms are clones. They're all clones of each other, which means genetically identical to the parent plant. But the seeds could be some variation, right? So if you popped a comment below about the gladiolus. So gladiolus flowers are actually from Africa. If you didn't know that, they were originally found in Africa and they've been cultivated since in many other countries. They do really well in Washington State and the Pacific Northwest. They do overwinter. You don't have to pull them, which means they are a no fuss kind of plant to grow in your garden. Whoopsies. So definitely want to grow gladiolas in Washington State. I think anywhere. I don't know. I don't live anywhere else, but gladiolas grow great here. And if they grow in Africa and they grow in Washington, I'm like, where else would they grow, right? So they grow in a lot of different climates and they do absolutely fabulous. Um, the ones from the Dollar Tree, like I said, they don't grow as tall, which I think is actually an advantage because the flower stalk is very heavy and it will fall over and snap the stem. When that happens, you can just take off the lower foliage, put it in a vase, and you've got a beautiful cut flower. But I prefer to have them growing as long as the garden as possible because I do like to save the seeds. The ones that I bought from bulbs from other places like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, other places, I have not been able to save seeds from them. The ones from the Dollar Tree, I have, and tons of seeds. So I would buy them from both places. If I was planting the ones from stores like this, I would plant those towards the back, and I would plant the ones from the Dollar Tree towards the front. And it might be because they're younger and smaller, but it also might be the variety that they're growing, the variety that they're selling. So definitely check those out. My other favorites that are super easy, of course, sunflowers, but they are heavy feeders, which means you're going to want to not plant maybe a lot of other flowers around them because they will take a lot of nutrients out of the soil. You're also going to want to amend your soil with compost, which is very easy. Throw down your dead leaves. It's winter time right now. You probably have a lot of decaying leaf matter. If you were to scoop that up, break it up, put it into one of your raised beds or into a spot where that you're going to plant sunflowers, that would be a really good idea. Like even I had a couple rotten pumpkins. I put them in, I like do like layers of like dry, wet, dry, a couple handfuls of soil, a scoop of soil, dry, wet, dry, from whatever's in the yard. Now don't use weeds, but like if I had like wet leaves, dry leaves, some dead plant matter, I would do that, right? And then I put these big chunks of the pumpkins that are decaying into that mix. That's going to be a great big pot for me to plant some sunflowers in. And I'm going to grow a lot of different varieties because I'm kind of going to go for the Vincent van Gogh look of lots of different types of sunflowers. I've got what's it? Autumn Beauty, and I have the teddy bear sunflowers, which by the way is just a cute nickname for the sun gold sunflowers. They look like a big puffy teddy bear. And then like regular sunflowers, you can go literally to uh, any feed grain store and buy bulk sunflower seeds, which are the little black seed. They're black oil sunflowers that you feed to the wild birds. You can feed them to the domesticated birds. When I had chickens, they loved the black oil sunflowers. Not the big ones because those were a little too big for them. The little black oil sunflowers. You can plant them. I've planted them. I had some volunteer because some of them fell out of a bird feeder in the front yard, and I had sunflowers everywhere. I also had safflowers everywhere. You can buy wild bird seed. Now, by the way, there will be some weeds in there, okay? But if you were to pick out, let's say, the safflower, which are a hard white seed, and you picked out the black oil sunflower seeds, you could plant those. The safflower are small, so I plant them up front, and I plant the sunflowers in the back. And the rest of them I would mix with regular peanut butter, nothing with xylitol. Xylitol will kill everything except for people. And even too much of that will give you some tummy problems. But some peanut butters have like low sugar, and look for the content. If it says xylitol, do not use it for a bird feeder. But you can use the rest of the bird food with that on a pine cone, tie it up on a tree, and now you've got a little really cheap bird feeder. You've got your safflower seeds basically for free. You got your black oil sunflowers basically for free. It's amazing. Here we're at the Dollar Tree, and I want to show you the prices here. You literally only get 2 or 3 seed packets now. And I mean, it used to be like ridiculous. It used to be like 10 for $1. Then it was 4 for $1. Then it was now it's 3 for $1.50. That's the best price. The best price they have is 3 for $1.50, and there are barely any seeds in there. I will have to do some kind of video sometime showing you how many there are, but I don't even want to waste my money. 2 for $1.50 or 3 for $1.50. I still have seeds from when they were for $4, 4 packets for $1.25 or for $1. They used to be 4 for $1, not even after they changed to $1.25, they were still 4 for $1 for a while. But if this is all you have access to, go ahead and do it. You're going to get more of a variety for your money. You won't get more seeds for your money. But if you're just trying to grow a garden for 2026, you might as well get maybe $10 worth of seeds or something, and you're going to get a good variety. They do have varieties here that they didn't used to have, like the Romanesco. This is the first time I've ever seen Romanesco, which is kind of like a broccoli cauliflower, but in the Fibonacci sequence. It's really pretty. They sell it at like Thriftway. And by the way, Thriftway is not thrifty. It's very expensive for my taste. But they have that. They've had them there. I've seen them once in a while at Fred Meyer's, but I couldn't afford it. I'm like, there's no way I'm paying that kind of money for something that I could spend for one seed equals one plant. If it sprouts and nothing else eats it, one seed equals one plant. And I'm like, oh geez, price wise, it is way more economic for you to just plant it yourself. If you are amending your soil with your own compost, that is, because you can definitely spend way too much on your garden if you are not being frugal. So with that in mind, be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you on our next video.
This is Crybaby's Homestead. Crybaby's Homestead. We like to grow, we like to garden, find good deals for our yards, then plan our groceries, save some money, smell the flowers, watch the wildlife, stretch a dollar, write a banger, make a friend from former stranger. Bless your garden, bless your homestead, flowers for you, hope for you. Grace for gardens, grace for souls, every space can